Hey everybody, I wanted to do a plan with me today since I am getting everything ready for our school week next week. I don't think I filmed one last week, so I'll give you kind of a little bit of a rundown on what we accomplished last week. We got most of the things done that we had planned to get done, but we did most. We did not get art, office, or sewing, and we had dentist appointments and well visits, and one of us was sick, and so I have certain things every day that are kind of our non-negotiables. Those are the things we have to get done. But things like art and sewing, if I need to push something from the schedule, those tend to be the things, and that's okay. We're already further in art than I planned to get this year, and sewing is, you know, it's fine. So those were the only things that I needed to move forward to this week. So I think I showed you where they were in sewing the last planning video I made, but the last time we did sewing, they made these little keychains for their backpacks. My son made his double-sided. It's the sun wearing sunglasses and the moon. And then my daughter made Bad Kitty. So they really enjoyed doing those and they were very proud of themselves. So that was good. This week for sewing, I have it on Thursday. Oh, also, I'm just using the School Nest Weekly Planning Notebook. This is not a homeschool planner, but I like it. And my friction erasable pens. All right, back to sewing. What we're going to do this week for sewing is this pack that I bought a while ago off of Teachers Pay Teachers. It's Minecraft. So I think that's good, and it's simple enough. It gives them more practice with that whip stitch. So I do probably need to pick up some more felt for that, but that's what we're gonna do for sewing. This coming week for art, we're going to do the next lesson in our Atelier Homeschool Art. There are, I believe, 6 lessons per DVD. I thought there were only 5. But there are 6, and so we will be doing lesson 8. I need to write that in there. Lesson 8 next week. They did, I think we did it 2 weeks ago was the last time we did it. And they were really cute. They were supposed to do like a sporting event or something with like a stage and an audience. And so they did, my daughter did this like battle reenactment, and I thought that was really cute. And then my son did this, it was supposed to be a presidential debate or something, so they used watercolors for those. And the lesson focused a lot on making, you know, the different audience members, and anyway, they had a lot of fun with that, So that's art for next week. I don't know why I'm starting art. It's in the middle of my list. Office, whatever our next lesson is in our book, and then Hoffman Academy. So I am stopping Hoffman Academy for summer. So we, the very first unit has 20 lessons. So hopefully we should finish it before I have it turned off, and then we'll start our subscription again in the fall. So that's all of our kind of elective stuff. Let's go into their independent work. So my son has finished like almost everything of his independent work. So he doesn't have a lot left, and I added some stuff for him. So the first thing is last week he started reading The One and Only Ivan, and he's about halfway through. Oh, those are last week's. I didn't label this for this week yet. Oopsies. So I still need to do that. Note to self, I need to mark this for this week. And then he has a novel study from, I think it's called The Book Umbrella, on Teachers Pay Teachers that he will do. And one thing I decided to do this week for him, one of the pages every day is a vocabulary page, and his dictionary skills are not great yet, which is completely age appropriate. And so this is always a fight trying to get him to do this. And so what I'm doing this week is I went ahead and looked for the first day, the words that are on his vocabulary list. And I went ahead and just marked the page in the dictionary that it's on, so he knows where to turn, and then he can practice looking through the words that are here to find what he needs. And after we do this for, you know, a couple weeks, then I can change it up a little, and I can say, okay, if your word is dispirited, then maybe I'll mark where the DIs start, and then he can go from there. So I just wanted to share that because I think sometimes if you can just add some scaffolding in to the lesson, to your teaching, that a curriculum or a unit that you think isn't working and you might just have to get rid of, you might not have to if you can just add some scaffolding in. So that's what we're doing with that. He does Type C on Mondays. He does cursive. This was a book I bought him for next year, but he finished his other one, so he's moved on to this. So what I like about this one is he thinks the jokes are funny, but also it has this area here where he traces at first and then he writes it, and this is still really important for him where he is in learning cursive right now. So he'll do that every day. And then you may be wondering, if we're doing Math with Confidence, why do I have Math Mammoth on there? Well, I am, you know, doing my planning and prepping for next school year. And right now he does 5th grade Math with Confidence with us. He's in 3rd grade. He's just a very math-minded kid. But there's no need to, he doesn't have to do 6th grade next year. And I was deciding that I really need to separate my 2 kids during math next year. Right now they're both doing 5th grade Math with Confidence together, and while they both can do it, they don't work well together, especially when you have one kid who's doing a grade level technically below hers, and a kid who's doing 2 grade levels above his. It can cause some problems. So I want to separate them for math next year. And he's really good at math. And in fact, he gets a lot of the concepts quicker than my 6th grader does, but he's very slow. And so I thought, you know what, he doesn't need to push ahead so quickly. So what if I have him do 5th grade Math Mammoth independently, I mean, somewhat independently next year. Since this one is written as a more independent curriculum, there won't be any new concepts in here because he will have done them this year, but this will give him more practice and more time to get comfortable with it. And I already own this because it was something we had looked at using this year. So I had bought it on Teachers Pay Teachers probably last summer. So all I had to do was print it out. And the reason he's working on it right now is because I wanted to test out how this would go for him. So that's why that's on there. I'm looking at using that for him next year. He will still likely do 6th grade Math with Confidence. I'll just have him do Math Mammoth until he finishes, and then I'll start him on the 6th grade. I'll just print out for him and my daughter at the same time and then set his aside. Anyway, that's probably more information than you needed, but that's why Math Mammoth is on there. Tuesday, same thing. The one and only Ivan, cursive, Math Mammoth, and then his journal he does on Tuesdays. Wednesday is just Ivan, cursive, and Math Mammoth, and that is the same Thursday and Friday as well. So that is what I have for him. He has pretty much finished up all the rest of his curriculum. Now my daughter, okay, so she is still working in this Sadler Vocabulary for Success Level A. This is their 6th grade level. Where are we? We are finishing up Unit 5. And I think there are 6 units in here. No, there's 7 units in here. So I don't know if she'll finish this before the end of the year or not. Likely not, but that's all right. We started it late, so. She's also still working through social studies, so she'll have this every day. And for the most part, I'm just giving her a 2-page spread. This is about the amount of information that she works well with. So that's kind of what I'm giving her each day for that. What else does she have? Poetry. So this was something new I added in for her because we didn't really do any poetry this year. And Hearth and Story came out with their 6th grade poetry unit, and there are, I believe, I want to say 26 poems in here. So it's something that she could easily do this school year. I just have her doing 1 a day. And it comes with the poems, and then it comes, these cards actually were part of the 5th grade unit, but they used them in the 6th grade unit. And I already had them because I bought 5th grade for my son to do next year. So she has that. And then last week we finished, she finished Hello Universe. We did this unit from Core Knowledge. We did not do all of it. We didn't do the writing and the grammar and the spelling. We mostly just did the novel study portion of it. So she finished that last week. And so this week she's moving on to Code Talker. And again, we have the Core Knowledge unit. And again, we're not doing all of it. We're mostly just doing the reading part of it, the discussion part of it. She'll be answering questions and we'll be going over the vocabulary. So she does the reading independently in the morning, and then she works with me on the rest of it. And then she also has Type C on Monday. Structure and Style. So we started Structure and Style, I believe mid-February, maybe sometime in February. So the plan was never really to finish this year. So she's going to do one more week of this, which would put her at week 12. She'll finish week 12, which is halfway through this program. I'm pretty sure this is 24 weeks. So then she'll stop that for this year, and I'll just have her continue it in her 7th grade year. Normally I wouldn't take 2 years to get it done, but because we started it more than halfway through this year, that will be fine. So she's doing one more week of Structure and Style, and then she'll be done with that for this school year. So she has her journal on Tuesday, and then everything else, I believe, for the rest of the week for her is the same. So that's what her week looks like. That's the stuff she does independently. With me, she's been working through this workbook. She and I go through this together, and that's been really helpful. And then I think that's it for her. All right, so what else do we have? Curiosity Chronicles. We will finish Curiosity Chronicles this week. I'm so excited. We have 2 chapters left. And I believe, let's see, they are, yeah, 71 and 72. The United States stretches from sea to shining sea. And we get to learn about the telegraph and Morse code. And then the last one is the Revolutions of 48, tear across Europe. And we get to read about Karl Marx. So what we are going to do next week is we'll do chapter 71 and the activity pages, which I already have in their pouches. We'll do that on Monday. Tuesday, there's a Morse code activity in the activity pages, and I got a couple Morse code books from the library. So we'll read those and do the Morse code activity. And it's actually perfect because it's going to tie into something else we're doing in another subject, but I'll show you that in a minute. Then Wednesday we'll do chapter 72 and the activity pages. And then we have some books about the Alamo, and there's a Minecraft build for the Alamo. And then on Friday, we are going to do, I don't know where I put my clipboard. We're going to do, it's missing. I printed out a couple of writing activities from Lit House Learning. I'm super annoyed that I don't know where I put that clipboard. It was like, oh, there it is. So we have one on Frederick Douglass, which goes with previous history units. I like to delay these so that it gives them a chance to go back and recall the information again. And then there's one on a Charles Dickens novel. So I'm probably gonna let them pick which one they wanna do. My daughter read this Classic Starts Oliver Twist the week that we read about Charles Dickens, so she might wanna do this. The Frederick Douglass one, they'll just look back in the text. And then I also have this book to read to them, A Raven Named Grip. This is How a Bird Inspired 2 Famous Writers, Charles Dickens and Edgar Allan Poe, because I believe it was last week they learned about Edgar Allan Poe as well. And I thought this looked like a really great book. So we will do that and our Lit House Learning on Friday. All right. Math with Confidence. We are on unit 11. And I think this is going to be a relatively easy unit for them because it's on like using the protractor and angles and things like that. So I have it scheduled to do 2 lessons a day. We'll see. If I need to adjust it, I will. But with units that are a little lighter, that's been going okay for them. So that's that. Okay, fairy tale. I mentioned in a previous video, I'm pretty sure, that I realized recently that my kids don't know their fairy tales very well. And we were reading in Curiosity Chronicles about Hans Christian Andersen and the Brothers Grimm. And so I got 2 collections from the library. This is the Fairy Tales of Hans Christian Andersen. And then I got a Grimm's Fairy Tales. And every day I've just been reading aloud one of the fairy tales in this book. So I have that on my schedule here as well. And then the last thing is our novel study. So we finally are done with robots. I'm so glad to be done with robots. Let me just tell you, it's not my favorite unit. My son loved it, but it's not my strength. Let's just say that, and I'm glad to be done. But right now, last week we started reading Song for a Whale. We're actually listening to the audio. I just have this all marked up from when I read it last summer, and I reference back to the things that I marked as important, and then I take them out after we get to it. But so we're halfway through, so we're gonna finish it this week. And we've done, last week as we were reading, we did a lot of whale information and reading. And this week, let's see, they're gonna, Monday after we're done listening, they're gonna watch a Signing Time DVD because they've been interested in sign language because it's a part of the story. Tuesday, we're gonna be doing a take apart lab, which is part of a pack I bought on Teachers Pay Teachers. And I have picked up just today, actually at a garage sale, a few small radios that they can kind of take apart, see what the inside looks like. Yeah, we just randomly stopped at a garage sale today. I've been asking on our local free board, and I've been looking at the thrift store and I haven't been able to find any. And then we randomly stopped at a garage sale today on Sunday, and the guy had a whole table of old radios, so, and they were only $2 a piece. So that's what we're gonna do on, when do I have that? On Tuesday. Then Wednesday, after they've taken apart a radio, I got this kit on Amazon where they can build a radio. So they will do that, and then to go along with it, and this also ties into our history a little bit, I have this book about the radio that I had gotten at Half Price Books, I think last summer when I was planning this unit. So we will read through this, and they already understand kind of sound waves and how sound waves work, but there is a hands-on project in the back that we're going to do when we build our radio. So that will be on Wednesday. And then Thursday, there's a map in here where you can track the character's travels to the whale. So we'll do that. And then Friday is going to kind of be our discussion day. We're going to talk about it some more. And there are some pages in here that we're going to do, going over the characters, events, and theme, and kind of our favorite part. And probably this page here where you get to write different thoughts that the character had throughout the story. And then we will be done with our novel study, that novel study. We have one more to do before the end of the year. It's definitely crunch time. We have 3 weeks of school left, so hopefully we can get it all done. So that is everything that we have planned for next week. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know down below. I really like talking to you guys down in the comments, so be sure to leave me a comment.